Hey YouTubers, this is Rob Moffat. Good morning. This is going to be an unusual video. I don't usually put my mug in my videos, but today is a little different. I'm going to do a video on YouTube. If you're not interested in YouTube or don't sell on YouTube or want to sell on YouTube, you don't want to watch this video. About 1999 I started in on eBay, and after a couple years I wrote a book on selling on eBay, and I sold it on eBay actually sort of as a floppy. Remember those floppy disks? Amazing. And then after a while I made it into a paperback, and I sold several thousand of these. But the problem with the book is that about half the book was internet resources, which became obsolete within days, and the book started selling less and less, and after a while it just sort of subsided. But when Kindle started when Kindle started, I said I should experiment with Kindle and put something on there. So I put my book on there, and it sold. But in the back of my mind, I was thinking I should do an update on the book and make new chapters, because the thing about Kindle is if you sell a book on Kindle of nonfiction and if you update it, anyone who bought a previous edition gets the update for free. And that was always in the back of my mind something I wanted to do with my book. I initially called my book Your Online Goldmine Guidebook, but I renamed the book A Simple Happy eBay Job, which I thought was more appropriate title. And I'm going to be adding new chapters to the book. I'm going to be updating it. And this is going to be the first chapter, which is 20 things I wish I had known when I first started on eBay. And I'm going to show you right now, down at the bottom, what you're going to be seeing on this video, and also I'll show you what you're going to be seeing as updates for the book, the new chapters I'm going to put in there. So if you've looked at those, let's go ahead and start. These are 20 tips I wish I had known when I first started on eBay years and years ago. The very first tip, if you don't learn or think of anything else, is it's all about the numbers. When you first start on eBay, more than likely it's a part-time deal. You're just trying to make a few bucks, and it's easy to make a few bucks on eBay. It's hard to make a lot, but it's simple to make a little bit. So you don't really set up an accounting system. You just dive right in, and pretty soon you're just working by the seat of your pants. And as your business grows, you need an accounting system. But the income on eBay can be inconsistent, so some months you make a lot, some months you don't. So you don't see an incentive to set up an accounting system. And it's one of the biggest mistakes I ever made, was not from the very beginning having a system in so I could see exactly what I make. Because if you're in business, you have to know your numbers. Your numbers tell you everything. Business is making business decisions, which can only be made if you know what your numbers are. Everything should be numbers. And I use right now, it's something called Outright. It's now owned by GoDaddy. It used to be owned by another company, but it's an application that's being pushed on eBay. It's like $6 or $7 a month. At least it was when I signed up. And I'm not selling. I don't get a penny from them. You can use a word processing program. You can use a spreadsheet, anything you want, so long as you get something down in writing, so you can keep track of your stuff, what your profit centers are, all your numbers. But I use Outright, and it's wonderful because I've got a link to PayPal, and every time I use my PayPal, which I use just for business, it shows that month what I spent or what I refunded, or everything right there is at my fingertips, so I can see what I'm making. So if you don't do anything else, just get yourself some sort of accounting system set up. And I don't like accounting systems, or I don't like to pay for anything on a monthly basis, but because it's only like $6 or $7 a month, to me that's worth it. But you want to be careful. Those things that you spend money for each month are the ones that kill you. Usually if you spend a lot of money to buy something, you can usually get most or all or even more of your money back when you sell it. But if you're leasing something or renting something, that money's gone forever. So try to keep track and be wary of those things you spend money on monthly or weekly, or God help you, daily. So number one tip, get your accounting system set in there, because you're going to be, oh, well, I'm just doing this temporarily, and get something down in writing so you know where your numbers are. Also, when you're selling something, you want to know the exact cost, not only in money but in time. I see a lot of people saying, oh, I made this amount of money, that amount of money, but they don't factor in what time it costs to source the product, to find the product, to search for it, to list it, to photograph it, to package it, to email to customers, to go, all that is, well, they just look at the price they paid for it and the price it sold, but there was a lot of stuff that went in between they lost. That's what I try now to focus on, things that I don't have to pick. I like things, I would rather spend a week finding one thing that I can sell over and over and over again, because that means I have to do the ad one time, the photo ad one time, and if it's something I picked right, it's something easy to ship. Where if you're out looking for something, you might find some good deals. You probably will find good deals. There's a surprising, even with the phone applications now where people can see what they're buying ahead of time before they purchase it, if it's any good. There are still tons of stuff out there you can find, but it's better to get something that you can resell every week. We'll get into this later, but if you're selling something, know not just the price, but the time. The third thing people should know when they start eBay, and I'm going to get a lot of disagreement on this, but you don't work for yourself. When you work for eBay, when you sell on eBay, you work for eBay. You don't work for yourself. A lot of people think, oh, I've got this business and everything, but tomorrow you can get an email from eBay where you don't have a business anymore. So always remember, you may think you work for yourself, but you're really working for your customer, your vendor, and for eBay. Same as if you sell on Amazon. If they change the rules, you know, you're not in control. That's why you always want to be migrating toward having your own website. Have piece of the action, not just working for somebody else. Which is, if you're selling eBay, you really are working for somebody else. When people start a business, a lot of times, I know I did, is I try to come up with things that I think other people need that are like me. And at the time, I didn't have a lot of money, so I tried to think of things that people would want if they didn't have a lot of money. Something that could help people. That's wonderful. You should always try to help people who don't have a lot of money. But people who don't have a lot of money can't buy what you're wanting to sell them. If you're wanting to be in business, you should try not to sell things that people you think need or would help people who don't have a lot of money. You can only do that once you get a lot of money. You can be philanthropic. In the beginning, you need to sell to people who have a lot of money and who are buying right now. Try to come up with things that people are buying right now that have a lot of money and that want to spend that money. Don't spend a lot of time on things that is going to help poor people, because poor people don't have any money. Once you get a lot of money, then you can help poor people. But while you're still a poor person yourself, you want to come up with things that the rich people have that you can sell, that they're buying right this minute. So don't spend a lot of time trying to save the world. You better save yourself first, and then you can save the world. While we're talking about selling to rich people or selling things that cost a lot of money, it takes the same amount of time to list an item that doesn't cost much as an item that costs a lot. It takes the same amount of time to take the photograph, to pack the item, to ship the item, to cash the check, whatever, an expensive item and a low-cost item. So you can see where your interest should lie. You want to sell, whenever you can, the high-cost items. You don't have to sell as many, and you're going to be a lot happier. You should always try, and it's hard, but you should try to have something to sell on the backside. If you sell a widget, if that widget comes with special batteries, you should be the best outlet for those special batteries for that widget there is. Have something on the backside. Where's your book or CD or manual on how to use that widget? Maybe start a forum about that widget so people can come on to your forum and talk about the widget, and you can get advertising revenue from your forum. have something on the backside. Maybe you're going to become an expert on that widget and you're going to be giving presentations and talks, and you can add on to how you make money from that widget. Have something going on. Just don't sell lemonade. You want to sell something with it. Also, repeat customers. Try to have something. If you don't have repeat customers in your business, most of the time you have an expensive hobby. An email list. This is something I wish I had done for. I've sold. I can't tell you how many customers I've had over the years, but it's in the thousands. And the thing about eBay is, unlike any other form of place of selling, is you get the email from your customer. You have a direct contact. When you sell on Amazon, you don't get diddly. You don't get squat. Amazon, you sell to Amazon's customers. Those people you sell to belong to Amazon. You don't touch them. They're Amazon's customers. eBay, when you sell a widget, you get to email that customer. You should be using that email. You should be contacting that customer and getting permission from them to add them to an email list. One of the most valuable things you can have as a seller on eBay is an email list of your customers. I know some people sell their email list. I would never do that. But you can. You get so much money per email. But it's better to have a website and something you can market, a service, a good, something that's of value to customers. And once you get a customer from eBay, there's a relationship. They've dealt with you. They know you're honest, reliable. You're a good person. Well, now there's something else that they can benefit from, and they just have to be on your email list so you can give them this information. Maybe you will give them a free report. Maybe you give them something, anything to sweeten the deal, so they gave you permission to have their name on the email list. Because even if they buy something from you and you have their email list, you can't just be spamming them with stuff. They have to be giving you permission for you to contact them in the future. That way, if you use an email program like Aweber or what is the other one, Monkey something, I forgot. You can use email programs to conveniently and efficiently contact your customers. And if you sell something for just a few dollars, you don't make a lot of profit, but you have that email later on, you could sell to them something else that's more valuable to them and to you too. So one of the most important things you can have on eBay is an email list that you've gotten from your customers. You don't get that from Amazon or any other place. You also get feedback in a way you don't any other place. It's two great things about eBay people overlook. You should always listen to your customers. You learn everything you need to know about your business from your customers and your suppliers and your competitors. And you should always value your customers. I try to give 100% refunds all the time for any reason. But you also want to remember, some customers are dicks. They think because they spent $2, $10 with you, they own you, and they'll give you a hard time and like I said, refund, you're done. Be nice to them and treat them like you want to be treated, but don't let them take over. And don't become an ego thing. Just try to solve the problem as soon as possible. But if they haven't taken their medication, don't worry about it. Just move on to the next person. Some people are just dicks. Use forums and other sources of information to continuously gain knowledge about eBay. We're living in an amazing time. Years ago, people wouldn't tell you anything. You had to learn on your own. And if someone made a living, they wouldn't tell you their secrets. Why would they do that? I mean, nowadays, you can find information, almost anything, on how to better your business and create more income. And people are giving this information for free. So this is something that hasn't happened before. You can go on forums and get information from people who are doing the same business you are and solve problems that you would not have been able to solve before. It's a wonderful resource people don't take advantage of nearly enough. Go on the forums, go on the books. If you buy a book and you only get one good idea out of the book, it was worth 100 times what you paid for it. Another thing is, why are you in this business? Have a goal and write it down. That's a powerful, powerful thing. If you're in the eBay business and you've written down what your goal is and you think about that every day, this is going to be like a self-steering guide to keep you on track. Otherwise, years go by. I can make a video about that. When you're an airplane pilot, you're always looking down below you to see where, just in case the engines quit, where you could land. You're not going to believe this, but when you're selling on eBay, you should always be thinking about what is going to happen to you the day eBay says you can no longer sell what you're selling, or there's a competitor that completely ate your lunch and that venue is out and gone. Where are you going to land? Now, right now, you probably can't think of anything, but if this has never been on your brain before, you won't be thinking about it in the future. So start thinking now. Maybe there's nothing down below for you to land now, but once you realize that this may happen one day, you're going to be aware of things that do look like places you can land. And you'll remember them, so when something happens, not when, yes, when, it's going to happen. eBay eventually will change. They'll change what you can sell, the way you can sell it, or eBay could even go out of business. So you always want to be aware of what is your alternative. I've seen it happen over and over where people had stuff and they could no longer sell what they were selling. And they had inventory, they had to eat it. And one day they think they have this wonderful, thriving business, and next day it's gone. And it's unpleasant. So think about it. It's something you should always have in the back of your mind as a plan B. If you don't want crazy customers, don't sell crazy things. Ask me why I know this. Learn how to get to yes. When I first started my selling my book, I sold them on CDs and floppy disk, and I made, back then they had Dutch auctions. I don't know if you remember that, but you put it in an auction and people could bid, and you get 10, 20, 30, 40 people in a week, and they all were buying the same thing, and the auction ended. You sold 30, 40, 50 items, depending on how many people bid. It was wonderful. They don't have Dutch auctions anymore. And I was selling my book for $10 a pop. It was a floppy disk. It cost me 20 cents to make. I thought to myself, sell my clothes, I've gone to heaven. But pretty soon, the competition got worse and worse, and everybody was selling eBay books. And then customers were getting mad because some people were ripping off people with their books. And then finally eBay said, that's it. And they sent me an email, said, you're not allowed to sell this book anymore. And I wrote them back, why? And they said, this is not a book. This is just a collection of information. I'm thinking, it's a nonfiction book. I'm hoping it's a collection of information. It's also a personal narrative of my year and a half of how I built up my business. And they said, we don't care. It's not what we want to have sold on eBay. And so I said, this ain't right. So I said, this is America. You know, we have freedom of the press. I should be able to sell my own words, my own writing. So I went and looked to how much it would cost to bind up a book. And back then, it's not like nowadays. We have so many opportunities to where we can make our own books. Amazon has where you can make one book at a time for just a few dollars. Years ago, you had to get 300 or 400 books at a time, costing you a couple $1,000s to get books made. So I looked at the cheapest binding so I could make them myself, and it was expensive. The cheapest one was a saddle, stitched, and they also had stapled. But everyone I went to said, you cannot staple this amount of pages with a stapler. This is where I'm going at. Try to get to yes. Everyone said no. I said, I don't care. I'm going to go to yes. I went to Home Depot. I bought the biggest stapler I could find, and I just stapled the pages together. In the middle, I sold hundreds of these books. No complaints about the staples. Not one. Not one. The edges here, they should have been flat and uniform. Nobody complained. All they cared about was the information. I sold hundreds of copies in the print form. Nobody cared about the staples. And so try to find a way to get to yes. If people tell you you can't do something, just try to find a way to get to yes. Don't stop at no. Too many people, they live by no. Um, this is obvious, but you won't believe how long it took me to do this. Try to cut out as many time wasters. It's only been recently I started using my own printing postage instead of going to the post office. Uh, because I was always worried about my printer stopping right in the middle of my postage and losing money. But now I just try to print out, I try to first sell things I can put in the mail without having to take boxes. And it's worked out great. I hardly ever have to go to the post office now, which is a shame because I finally found a nice post office I really liked, the one that's up here on Hiatus Road here in Broward. Let's see. I covered this earlier. Try to focus on things you resell every week instead of having to pick and look for new things. That's been a lifesaver for me. Try to spend 20 minutes every day just brainstorming, coming up with things that you could make your business better. That's been a big help. Always ask the 3 questions. In my book, I talk about the 3 questions. If you are picking, they've helped me so many times. Number 1, if you're picking something, you have to ask yourself, exactly what is it? You have to know exactly what it is, not what it looks like. It's close to being, but exactly. Sometimes just a tiny change can mean a big change in price. Know exactly what it is, know exactly what the price is. And then know exactly how many people are actually buying it, because sometimes something is worth a lot of money, but nobody's buying it right now. So if you know those 3 things, and nowadays it's so easy with these phones where we can check things ahead of time, but back then when I started, you had to just guess in your head all the time. And sometimes you guessed right and sometimes you didn't. But if you know exactly what it was, exactly what the price is, and if it's being sold right now, then you can know if you're going to lose money or make money. The last thing, try to have fun. I worked at a company for 17 years and I worked like a horse. And there was other people I knew that were always having a good time. And they got as much work done as I did, but they weren't serious. And that company now is gone. It turned into a big giant storage facility. We worked there 17 years. And I think back now, I was stupid. I should have had more fun. If you can have fun and work and get your work done, and you can be serious and work like a dog, have some fun. Pretty soon, it's all gone. You know, this don't be a slave to your job. Try to enjoy yourself and get stuff done at the same time. So if these tips have helped, guys, I'm here to help. I'm really happy that it does help. I'm going to be adding new chapters to the book and updating it, and I'm going to have about 10 or 15 new chapters. It's going to be a whole new book. And if you bought it in the past, the updates be free to you. Also, if you're a subscriber to this channel, in the future, when I do update the book, I'll probably be listing it on Amazon for free, so you can do that every so many months, and you'll be able to get the book for nothing. So try to subscribe to this channel. So I don't normally make videos this long, guys. I don't usually put my ugly mug in the camera. Oh, close up, close up. So hope this tip helped, guys. And I'll be doing more updates on the book, and be doing more eBay stuff. And that's about it. So you guys take care and come back. I add new videos every week.